Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's me, ScottDog. Welcome back to Forgotten City. So last time out, we washed up on a bank of a river. We went and explored some ruins looking for Owl. We found out that Owl was dead and turned to gold. We jumped through a portal into the Forgotten City, and we came and met the magistrate, who told us that there is a golden rule. The golden rule being, if you break any laws, everyone dies, pretty much. Or gets turned to gold. And after he told us this shocking revelation that we kind of figured out from walking around, after he told us about this shocking revelation, we thought we'd just test it. We stole some stuff. And indeed, some people turned up with magic bows and started shooting people, turning them to gold. We ran out of the portal, ran back in, and we start again. I've just walked back up to the magistrate rather than you guys having to watch me do all that wandering around. And we're now about to ask him some questions.
Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarians.
What's a decurion?
It's a cavalry officer. I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform.
Why are you still wearing it?
As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent.
How did you end up here?
My men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as honor guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire. Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse, and discovered that lonely temple. You can probably figure out the rest.
Was she called Karen, by any chance?
I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents.
Why do they hate you so much?
Unfortunately, it just seems to have emboldened certain elements instead.
Yeah, but why do they hate you so much? Okay, let's talk about something else. Can we talk about who's going to break the golden rule?
What is it?
Never mind. I need some more time to investigate.
It doesn't matter.
I thought you might have something to share.
Continue your investigation.
Or start.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
I think we should start our investigation. I'd better get back to it. Okay.
I'll be waiting here for news.
Thanks, Magistrate. I appreciate it. Okay, he's wandering off. Let's not steal anything this time. We've got to get that flower over there. I think it said if I press tab, I can see our objectives. Leads. Let's go and find out. Creta. Let's go and find her and see what she's got to say for herself. Oh, the flower is still the marked one. How do I... How do I make you active? I don't know how I do that. Oh, there we go. I just click on the eyeball. I thought I'd done that, but apparently not. Okay. Before we go, let's just wander around in here. Now we know not to steal these things. Okay. To Sentius, may Jupiter, Optimus, Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise I will always wear it. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Sentia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month, but if you can just show them to be strong and defendable man I know you to be, you'll be re-elected, I'm sure of it. Okay. Okay, let's let's head out of here then, I guess.
Whatever are you wearing?
All right.
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians.
We've already
in
seen
here.
this.
What do you want?
You've said this before. Oh, she wouldn't know.
I trust you can.
Yeah, I can. She's got nothing interesting to offer us. Okay. Let's head over to the Shrine of Apollo.
On your best behavior, I trust? What now?
What's your story?
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughter, I should say, and the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
How did you end up
I'm
here?
from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it.
Isn't there a nice girl around
To
here?
deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some genetricum fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
So far, everyone has arrived via the river.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthen the mind, as labour does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
Okay. Also, what was whatever you said earlier? What were they? What was that thing? Jacentium tutorium? What was one of those? What can you tell me about the magistrate?
He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
It's very true. Can I see the citizen
I
register?
don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
They might not be here tomorrow. Okay, what we got here? Reading mode. Aurelia, class commoner, tavern keeper. We met her on the way in. Claims to know a way out. Okay. Claudia. No notes. Decius. I'm going to apologise for some of these names in advance. Domitus. Quarters the slum. Why is there a slum? Imprisoned in warehouse. What? What did they do to be imprisoned? It couldn't have been a crime, right? Okay. Hannibal. Died in cistern. Okay, interesting. Kabash disappeared. Hairdresser who refuses to work. Malleus not to be trusted. Navia locked herself in palace. Rufius increasingly agitated. Sentia restricted to villa for safety. We've met her. Scintilla is missing. Okay, there's a lot of things here. Sure, I'll get back to you tomorrow.
You said it like that. But whatever.
I'll give it back to you tomorrow. What do you think of the golden rule?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
Are you saying you're in favour of it? Collective punishment, which is a war crime. Let's go with
Done, it's
this.
done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. If you like.
If you like. Who are you going to vote for?
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is.
And we could have guessed that one, right?
Will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
Can I help?
I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings.
Okay. Make Malleus drop out of the election. I'll be going now. Thanks, Horatius. There's this dude over here, which I'm guessing is Demetrius, or whatever his name was, who's been rallying up votes, right? I like that they wander off after I've spoken to them.
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day.
What's your story?
The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me.
Why are you dressed like a gladiator?
Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why.
Okay, but who do you gladiate against?
You want to see me fight? Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunners.
What did you call me? Unbelievable. What do you think of the Golden Rule?
I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected.
That wouldn't be wise. How can I help?
We've already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem.
Okay. I'd like to meet
Too
him.
bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it.
Afford what?
I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable in return.
What do you want?
Dunno. Something good.
How about, isn't soliciting bribes a sin?
Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron.
Okay. What about 10?
Hey, Caput Murde, Futuere es. Just make it good.
How about 100?
Sin Coolio mio. Just make it good.
Neither of those two things worked. I'll see what I can do.
Just make it good.
Stop telling me to just make it good. Who are you going to vote for? I think we know the answer to this.
Of course. If old man Sentius can't even protect his own daughter, how can we trust him to protect us?
You've kidnapped her.
Whatever. Just remember, I'll be watching.
Okay. Same excrement, different smell. Okay, we were going up this way, right? What was that noise? Sound like a dog. Hello.
Here is proof of a degenerate mind.
I'll be back.
Keep an eye on things, Horatius?
As always, priestess.
Any news about Scintilla, Navia, or Kabash?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid.
Shh, I'm
Oh,
just
you know
listening.
the newcomer. Strangely dressed fella. Funny accent, too.
A traveller from a faraway land, then?
Seems that way.
Then let's make sure he feels welcome, shall we?
Of course, priestess.
Okay, let's go in here first. I'm assuming that's who we need to speak to, right? The priestess, but let's head in. This lady's asleep with her eyes open.
What
Hello.
are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cubulatus Decius won't give it to me.
I wish I could help. Okay,
It's too late. She just slipped away.
hold on. Hold on. Doesn't that mean she was murdered and therefore we should all...
She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall, but there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead.
Well, I mean,
there's
I
really
kind
just
of do.
one thing you can do. Get me that Silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out.
I'll get right on it.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
I mean, how did someone poison them without... Oh, hello. That could get me banned on YouTube, right?
May Apollo keep you safe.
Yeah, Apollo, I mean, yeah. You should really cover up Apollo. Dirty old man. Right. Okay. It's not that plant. It's not that, it's a different plant, right? I'm assuming it's a different plant. Okay. Let's come and speak to this lady.
Isn't
Keep an
the
eye out for
great
Scintilla,
temple
would you?
majestic? A new face, Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
I'm looking for suspects. What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
What should I have done?
The proper proper approach would be to arrange an introduction
Oh,
for a
God.
mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly.
Okay, but
to be
what's
honest,
your story?
I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Okay, how about this? What is your story?
You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
A young woman named Karen dragged me out of a river unconscious and sent me in here.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you?
It carries negative connotations.
Why is that?
Because of the memes.
The memes?
Oh,
What
God.
are the memes?
Never mind.
As you wish, but... I wonder if... No,
What were you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
Yeah, they all got washed up on the river. You're being a bit coy.
I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
What happened to Livia?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you?
Oh, be careful.
Thank you. Now,
You'll be
go
dead.
and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns.
Okay, I'll get right on that as well. I'll get right on
You've
everything.
acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbours.
I mean, the only thing we know is that everybody met a stranger at the door. Sorry, at the river. Now what are we doing? Common thread. Ask the residents about their stories. I mean, that seems like a... This little clicky thing is really noisy. Right, let's try this one. He's got to be down here, right? Yeah. Oh, thanks very much. I like that this one's got a robe on. Outside of the robe. Hello. I should try talking to him again later. Oh, I can't steal from him. As much as I want to.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
But how am I going to defend myself against someone else with a weapon?
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Obtain a bow. I mean, this fella wants to leave.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Dacius,
Hello,
Terrible
Dacius.
shame what happened to Yulia. But we just have to carry on, don't we?
What's your story?
You mean how did I end up here?
That's exactly what I mean.
That is a lengthy tale.
Well, I've got all day.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
Oh, God. You chose the cart, didn't you?
Of course I chose the cart.
Yeah.
I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl,
Uh-huh.
still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
I think I see where this is going.
Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
Commiserations.
Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you, there must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I could just figure out how to get it out of here.
What about some slaves? That'd help. Do you know a way out of
I'm
here?
afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
I'll keep an eye out. What do you think of the golden rule?
It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Why do you need a bow?
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, friend.
I need some of this stuff.
All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
It's not really that reasonable.
That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard and save your coins, you should be able to afford it within, say, 5 years?
I don't have that kind of money.
Well,
Let's not...
perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget?
What have you got?
Very well.
Oh, I didn't ask who he's going to vote for. He's clearly going to vote for the other dude, though, right? Okay, let's come and talk to this fella.
Greetings and salutations.
Hi.
Greetings. I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
Can I just point out that everyone who's saying that I'm a foreigner, I have the same English accent as most of the people who are in this game, right? My nation doesn't exist yet. From the beyond the edge of the known world.
Then you are an explorer, like me. Wonderful. You must have many stories to share. I cannot wait to hear them. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps?
Yeah, what's your story?
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forest.
Okay, why is there a tailor shop here?
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all?
That is kind of what I meant, yeah.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, and there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best.
Let's talk about... Oh no, how do you end up here?
A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself.
Why don't you tell me what you do remember?
I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact.
Uh-huh.
I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa.
So you floated down the Tiber?
Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Let's talk about something else.
Anything you like.
You know a way out of here?
Not so loud. What are you playing at?
I'm just asking. Did I say the wrong thing?
Have you not been told about the last attempt?
No.
Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. It is a long story.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to hear this long story next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe button, follow us on Twitter at ScottDogGaming. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching ScottDogGaming. Don't forget to follow on Twitch and Twitter and head over to YouTube for daily content. See you again soon.